Well, I want to believe with you too, because if we say that this happened 4 times last year and it's happened once again this year, and we've hardly heard anything, or your command is yet to receive any information as to what to do if this happens again, especially from the foreign ministry, then then we'll keep waiting until we do hear such a message. But then, at what point do we begin to consider Gabon hostile?
Mokwe, let's get one thing straight. The Chief of Naval Staff clearly, and he received also under directives that no deportees should be allowed except the proper thing has been done. So I want to believe he's also given that based on certain directives, and it is a very clear situation. Once the procedure is done, they are our brothers. We relate, and whether they are from Gabon, anyway, they are Africans, we are brothers, we are sisters. So, of course, if somebody is distressed, why not?
And that's why Gabon's action is surprising, because, I mean, as you rightly said, that's the idea, or that's the attitude we have displayed as Nigerians. We've said these are our brothers, especially if they're from the ECOWAS region. We've shown brotherly care. Even the Senegalese consul commended us on that particular regard. But then we also have to ask, why is Gabon, uprooting Nigerians and non-Nigerians and then bringing them to Nigeria? Is there a reason for that? We've not been able to decipher what exactly the rationale behind that decision is.
I want to believe after what happened last year and early this year, it's likely not to go like that again. It's not likely to be business as usual. They're also going to take appropriate measures. They're also going to, very, very well, I think they are going to conform with practices. I think there are gaps here and there, but again, as we start to do the things the right way, we're most likely going to overcome these challenges.
Are there checks carried out by men and officers of your command when they arrived to see if they're not armed or coming in with any kind of weapon that could jeopardize security in the country?
What happened is we have lines of defense at sea. First of all, we have the capital ships. And like I said, again, it was a major objective by the Chief of the Naval Staff that at all times, 24/7, we must have capital ships, that is warships, at sea, in all commands. And we have maintained that. In the backwaters, that is in the channels and the creeks, we also have boats and patrol crafts. Whenever these ships are coming in, particularly these passenger carrying platforms coming to Calabar, we have the ship at sea to make sure that they are safe, they are not attacked by sea robbers or pirates. And they come in the channels again, because sometimes of the condition of the waters, it can be slightly rough. We will not want to jeopardize also the life of people by telling them to calm down, come into our ship, we check, so we just go on board, look at the manifest. If we have any observations, we signal the base from the sea, and the base will lead them to the port. Always, there is no vessel that comes from either Gabon, from the West Central Africa, no vessel that comes and is not escorted into the harbor. So we make sure, especially because of their own safety now.
We do know that last time a ship came to the waters in Calabar, we understand that some people were sent back. Those without proper identification papers were sent back to, is it Gabon or wherever. They were escorted out. Tell us the rationale behind that.
Why we had to do that was, again, in that particular occasion, the ship, over 70% were Nigerians.
Okay.
And a substantial number came with emergency traveling certificates. That means they didn't have passports. They didn't have visas. And there were about 91 children. And out of them, about 76 or so, what we saw, emergency traveling certificates. But again, we had to send them into the channel, allow them so that the immigration will do their work. All that had passports and those that came with families, for example, a Nigerian is married to Gabonese and is coming with his wife and children. Although they are not having passports, the immigrations, again, they looked at it compassionate, and some are allowed to go in. Those we saw that were entirely with emergency travel certificates and were not too comfortable. So we told the agent to take them back, let them go get proper identification. They can still come back once the proper thing has been done. And they left, and we had to follow up to confirm that they arrived safely at Libreville. Safely because it's also our responsibility. It's not
You're in communication with Libreville?
We have a way of getting across to Libreville. So we did that. We confirmed. The agent that brought the vessel, we kept talking to him, and he gave us in writing that the vessel had arrived Libreville. In addition to that, the same vessel came back to Nigeria. She came back because the Nigerians, some of their cargo, their baggages were taken along because they could not distinguish who has what. So went and then came back with the cargo of the Nigerians. Again, that's another understanding, and all of them took. So that's a confirmation that the vessel had gone back to Libreville, and they discharged everybody alive and safe that went on it. That's a primary consideration.
I'm just wondering though, do we see the Nigerians when they leave for Gabon? If so many Nigerians have been deported from Gabon, I mean, it would seem that there is some amount of immigration to Gabon. Do we see them when they leave?
Again, porosity of our borders. It's possible some are living genuinely on the boats and ships. It's possible some are going through the land borders. It's possible some are from other countries and passing through Gabon. That has been the concern. Where are they coming from? That we hope they are not escaping. Maybe drug traffickers somewhere are escaping and they're coming through where they think they can come in with emergency travel certificates. Trafficking of arms, trafficking of children. That is a very serious concern. It's very alarming when you see that type of thing. And Gabon, if you check NAPTIP, there are routes, the major routes they see that are of concern: Calabar, Oron, Cameroon, Gabon. So these are major areas. But again, we see up to the north, they also go through. How they get into Gabon, we cannot exactly say, but we see them coming in
And are we
numbers.
able to verify that all of these people who return and they say they're Nigerians are truly Nigerians?
Yes, again, each agency has its own responsibilities. At the port there are members of DSS, apart from the immigration, DSS, NDLEA. So a lot of agencies, relevant agencies, are there to see that through.
Who receives them first?
Yeah? The procedure is the first to get on board is the port health, because they have to certify that everybody is in good health and can come into Nigeria. After that, immigration, customs do that. After that, for screening, the DSS, NDLE do their own, customs go board, see there. So all of the agencies go freely do their job.
Has there been any case wherein port health turned some people back because they deemed them not healthy enough to come into the country?
So far, I've not heard of that. I do know the regulation is you must have a certificate. If you're coming from Central Africa, you must have your medical certificate.
But many of these people who come in who don't have it, how does the port health handle it?
Yes, they are professionals, they have their own way, but maybe we have to improve on that also. So there are a lot of areas that we have to improve on how we do our checks and how we do some things.